preaching to the unconverted. Today, those disbelievers are the champions of the 80s, Canterbury, and the Bulldogs are out to add the Tigers to a list of scalps already collected from the Lotto Challenge of '91.
Shot gets it out to the corner. Canterbury get it. Oh, they might have done it. Unbelievable scenes here at Dubbo. Leads out the Tigers, and a terrific crowd here for them in round one of the Winfield Cup. Gary Jack at fullback, Anderson, Brasher, Grant O'Brien, Baysari, Freeman, Elias, Douglas, Siren, Edmed, and Roach in that front row, and Benny Elias with a big responsibility as captain of this Balmain side. Good news for Canterbury is that Terry Lamb is back to lead them out. They've missed him, although their form in trials has been good. McGrady, Robinson, Smith, Brown, McCracken, Lamb and Moore are the backs. And the forwards, Gillies, White, Maguire, Tromp, Peats and Newton. But it's the first time that the Tigers since 1980 officially start a new season without Wayne Pearce. And Wayne, there's no rumour. Eddie Ward, the referee today, no rumour about you being a late inclusion with this interchange system.
Well, I'm prepared down here on the sideline, Graeme. In fact, with this interchange rule, you never know what might happen.
Just don't get too keen, sideline.
It's too tough out there for me nowadays.
Round one of the Winfield Cup, Balmain versus Canterbury. Down it comes. It might go all the way. It does. All the way back to halfway. So the Tigers start the new year with a mistake right from the start.
If you have a look at this one, it did hit the Canterbury player, but he was already dead in goal.
So Baysari with the error and Canterbury the penalty right on the halfway line. They're just looking around, checking what the call's going to be. Darren Brown will look for the sideline. Now off the side of his boot. Mistakes all round. Nervous start from both sides. The Tigers will play it just outside their own 22. Changing direction is Douglas. Back for Elias. Roach. He quickly gets it out to Baysari. Baysari had Brasher charging onto it. Now, Baysari's going to be penalised. So we haven't gone. We've only gone a full minute. And Baysari twice has given away a penalty. This will mean a chance at points for the Bulldogs. Terry Lamb, his first game since the end of the '90 season. He's been struggling with a groin problem, and he does have his leg strap. He's wearing some protection.
He's one of those players who the interchange rule is going to suit. He can play 20, 25 minutes, and then coach Chris Anderson can give him a breather.
He might be fully fit. He's a key man, and maybe this man, Chris Anderson, doesn't want to change him too many times. From outside the 22 and about 5 metres to the side of the post. Terry Lamb, his first touch in '91, brings up 2 points for Canterbury, and the Bulldogs 2-0 over Balmain. Baysari has a breeze at his back. Now certainly knows how strong it is. This time he won't make the same mistake. Robinson. Freeman awaits him. He gets assistance from Elias.
Balmain have been regular semi-finalists, Graeme, throughout the 80s. But if they can't win today against Canterbury, that aren't quite at their best, they'll be pretenders and not contenders for '91.
Darren Brown just manages to get the kick in. Bounces just inside the sideline. O'Brien, headband and all, tackle just inside Canterbury territory. Brasher back to dummy half. Freeman goes wide. Here's the call from Elias. Gary Jack into the line. Out wide to the outside of Darren Smith. And David Anderson forced infield. Wrapped up by Maguire and also Tronk. Elias. Taken by the Canterbury forwards. Alan Jones from up in the stand looking on. Roach flicks it out the back for Elias to continue on, and he finds a gap. He was grabbed at the last minute as he was trying to keep it going. Douglas. He and Edmed in headgears. Last tackle against Balmain. Jack with a bomb. Plenty of players in front of him. McGrady, they've all got to stay 10 metres away. And McGrady scoots clear. Well, he nearly got right through. He's the danger man, and they left plenty of room for him. McCracken. Canterbury working it away through White. Good start for the Tigers in lower grades. They won them both 20-18 in a good match in the President's Cup. 28-6 in reserve grade. Baysari, now that Canterbury have put it down, the best opportunity for the Tigers. They get a penalty. You're off the man playing the ball, says Eddie Ward. Trying to get to their feet quickly to keep this attack flowing. And Newton Gelty, along with Kyle White, is pushing Baysari back down. Tim Brasher played the most games for the Tigers in 90, 24 in fact, and scored the most points, 116. And with it, the most tries, 13. Just outside the 22. Brasher. Brasher trying to even things up. He does just that. And the Tigers now and the Bulldogs 2-all. Grady back with this restart for Canterbury. And I mentioned that breeze. Wayne, how strong is it behind the Tigers?
It's not all that strong at this stage. I mean, what normally happens at Leichhardt Oval is that the breeze tends to shift around somewhat, and particularly during the latter part of the day will come from the opposite end of the field. So with a bit of luck, if in the Tigers' way, they may well have the breeze again in the second half.
Not real strong at the moment as Brasher brings it away. Locked up by Peats and also Kyle White. Edmed. Newton. And Peats make another tackle. Elias. Roach. Darren Smith was up quickly. The Tigers had the numbers on this short blindside, but they couldn't get it out. Elias with the kick. Touched by Canterbury. Everybody's onside, but it'll fall easily for McGrady. Stepping. But Elias finished him off strongly as he came back inside. McCracken.
McGrady has got electrifying pace. If you kick to him, you've got to get a good chase down there and give him no space to work in. That means you've got to mix up your kicking game. Some long, some short, and some midfield bombs.
Robinson. Played it back. Moore gets it away for Gillies. Gillies to halfway. Peats. Taken by Kevin Moore. Kicking away from Jack, but it sits up nicely on the first bounce. 10 metres out from his own line. Taken by Terry Lamb and also Newton. And the Tigers, who were first-round losers in the Lotto Challenge, haven't been all that impressive in the trials. But there's no doubt about the talent in this forward pack. Douglas gets away. Good backing up from Freeman. Roach. Underneath was Tronk. Elias. Ball was knocked down by Tronk in the play of the ball. Not directly in front, though, was Tronk, and he's been picked up by Eddie Ward. Wasn't completely in front of Roach as he played it. He reached around the corner and offside. The Tigers will get 6 more. And 32 metres out from the Canterbury line with that jack kick. Freeman. Edmed, but he was very flat-footed. And Kyle White went for the big charge. Sirinen with support from Baysari. Baysari down to McGrady. McGrady hangs on to him, but he's still going, only 2 and 3 metres away. The Tigers now. Canterbury have been split. Freeman gets it out. Douglas. Jack. Behind Roach. McCracken's offside. The advantage was played well by Eddie Ward. Far from satisfied. Gillies still keen to play on, but it will go back, and way back to in front of the post. Right in front of the post. Now, 10 minutes in the bin for Terry Lamb. He kicked the ball away as Elias was trying to get play restarted. That's important, 10 minutes, and it's the Canterbury skipper out of there.
Yeah, and they may just not take a kick for goal here. Down to 12 men Canterbury. Elias might take a tap.
Benny Elias has kept his cool here. He must have been tempted. He's shaking his head now saying, we'll settle for 2. The message goes out there to Elias as well. He's been told the story that Alan Jones sent out through one of his trainers. Only 11 metres out for Brasher. Right next to the post. They grab the lead. And the Tigers now get it to 4-2 over Canterbury. Douglas, that was a line ball decision.
Who'd be a referee?
Penalty to Balmain. He's already got them on one occasion.
Now, this is an interesting one, Graham. The referee has got to make a decision on Steve Roach, and he's made it now. Eddie Ward saying, you're off. We're going to use the interchange rule for you. Roach wouldn't like that. He isn't a player who you can chop and change with.
The age bin, as it's called. Elias. Just inside Canterbury's half once more. Edmed. Freeman. Sirinen standing wide. Through a dummy. Got through 2 tackles. Keeps it alive. Threw it at the feet O'Brien. That's play on. Elias wants to go down the blind. Out to John Elias. Baysari now. Baysari standing. Handball back by Freeman. Douglas with a good dummy. What a great pass. O'Brien out for it's forward. Even the last bowler, McFarlane, looked forward, but I think Eddie Ward's got an earlier one. Eddie Ward's called it back. So no try to McFarlane. It was looking spectacular, but Ward stood his ground. Canterbury. Now look at this big push from Balmain. McGrady's got it. Robinson back from McGrady. McGrady gets started. Gets away from Sirinen. He gets around Jack, or does he? Coming across field. He shortens up that angle. Moore. Gillies. Darren Brown. Way out wide for McCracken. Back over his shoulder. Doesn't get away from Baysari. This match really opening up. 40 tackles in possession for the Tigers, only 18 for Canterbury. Peats. No advantage turned around. Yeah,
there's a bit of an alarm bell in that. Balmain have got to start and get points on the board.
Terry Lamb's back out there from the bin.
When you make all the running in a game, but you don't get the ball over the try line, things can turn against you.
Lamb taken well by Elias through the legs of Maguire. Back now for Darren Brown. Last tackle, he's going to have to kick. I don't think he's heard the call. He hasn't heard the call. He was tackled. Not realising it was the 6th. And there'll be more defence for Canterbury, but the Tigers haven't been able to finish them off with 12, Wayne, and now Canterbury back to 13.
Canterbury's been tackling very well, but Balmain have yet to get to their 6 tackles inside the Canterbury 22. What they're doing is making too many silly passes, and those 2 intercepts that Canterbury took were lucky not to eventuate in tries.
Roach being bandaged sideline as Brasher gets it to the 22. Can they do against 13 what they couldn't against 12? Freeman for Anderson, try. Great play from Gary Freeman. Oh, this is clever. Very clever stuff on the fringe from Freeman. A couple of dummies. And Leichhardt erupts at long last. On the MMI replay, Newton fell for the dummy. The hole stayed as the defence didn't cover up. And Anderson kept travelling around and travelled around to pick up 4 points.
Gary Freeman read this to perfection. He faked on the run around. Then he moved towards the defence, and David Anderson, his first game in first grade, caps off a great Balmain move with his first try in this grade.
Yes, Gary Freeman's always dangerous on the edge of the ruck. He's got a tremendous acceleration, as we saw here, exploded into that gap. And David Anderson, a youngster who has come into the first grade for the first time today, scores a very good try.
How good it is to get a try in your first one. MMI player profile, 22 years of age, and formerly the Parramatta Juniors. 2 from 2 for Brasher. Three from 3. The Tigers get it to 10-2 over Canterbury. McGrady now. And Canterbury, remarkably, making the mistake when they were back to their full complement. Sirenen. O'Brien. He loses it. Roach is back out there, already wearing a couple of marks from their recent trial encounter over at Auckland. A couple of black eyes, now some stitches.
This is one of the few chances that Canterbury have had. They've had the ball for 2 play the balls in Balmain's half so far.
Kevin Moore will play it just inside the 22. Newton standing flat-footed. Easy picking. Moore. Trump. It comes back for Kyle White to pick up. Lamb. Newton outside him. Roach finished him off very strongly over the top. Peats. Right in front of the post, 12 metres away, last tackle. McGrady to the in goal. Taken just outside it by Brasher. O'Brien. He landed just in the field of play. McGrady trying to get it to the in goal area. Jack runs it out. Parrish. He'll play it right in front of his post. Elias getting the kick in. How well do they protect this McGrady now?
He's got room to work in.
He brings it back to McCracken's wing. Taken well by Grant. Head down, McCracken. The Bulldogs were Lotto semi-finalists. They picked up big wins over Manly and Canberra along the way before being beaten by Penrith. But this is the Winfield Cup, down to the Premiership proper. And the big test to their real guide to form in 91. Tronk. Gillies puts it down. He had to try and drag that pass in with some pressure on him from the defence. Tronk was trying to cut a man out, but O'Brien, Roach and Brasher were sweating on him.
O'Brien just reads those things so well. He knows when to leave his wing and come in and make a ball and all tackle, or to pressure the attack.
Baysari. Now, Darren Brown has been called out by Eddie Ward, hanging on to a Balmain man who was trying to support Baysari. Six straight penalties to the Tigers. A chance at another try. Elias. For David Anderson, the try scorer. Cross McFarlane. For Cameron Douglas. 6-2 those penalties. Roach. Pass was just a little low. He juggled it for a while. And Canterbury using the interchange system now. Newton replaced by Troy Castle. Lamb. Darren Smith. Robinson. (4-3). The Tigers have also got the scrums. Castle with his first touch. Interesting point about McGrady, Bill. Fullback or halfback?
Fullback in this side. Kevin Morgan do the organising, and it gives McGrady plenty of space to work in, but at halfback he'd still be a terrific threat, wouldn't he?
Well, he gets plenty of chances to come up into the front line anyway. Lamb gets it wide for McGrady now. Darren Smith. Back for Robinson. This should be a try. Lamb's inside. Canterbury, well, out of seemingly nothing, the Bulldogs will go a long way. And the best backer up in the business, Terry Lamb, gets his first of the new season. The Tigers seem to go to sleep. MMI replay. Look at the strength of Darren Smith. Takes two defenders with him, keeps his balance perfectly for Robinson. Robinson knew that he had Lamb and Kevin Moore to finish it off. And Terry Lamb, well, 962 points for the Bulldogs. 80 tries in his career in the blue and white. Make it 81.
Terry Lamb just has that uncanny ability of turning up in the right place at the right time. Now, there was nothing on here. McGrady skipped on the outside and made half a break of it, but Smith was the man that did most of the work. He had to fight his arms free in that tackle, got the ball back to Robinson. He drew Jack. Jack couldn't do anything about it. There was no cover defence coming across from Balmain. Where was Gary Freeman? And Terry Lamb's done it again as he goes round to improve his position.
He's already spent 10 minutes in the bin. Now he will try and add a goal. More settled, the Canterbury coach now, Chris Anderson. Lamb, 12 metres in from the sideline. Trying to convert his own try. No goal. But now Balmain 10, Canterbury 6. Lamb takes on the defence. He sighted a gap, and Elias just managed to close it. Tronk started in a headgear. Now, penalty against Sirenen for laying his hands on Tronk, who was trying to get to his feet quickly.
Terry Lamb didn't want that penalty. He was off and running.
Tronk was trying to get up. Sirenen was trying his best to keep him there. He had hold of one arm. Lamb thought he sighted a chance up the middle. Warm afternoon in Sydney. 50% for the Bulldog skipper. And the Balmain skipper a little annoyed. They're giving up this good lead that they had at 10-2. Lamb, not a good start for his kicking to the new season. They survived that one, Balmain. It stays 10-6. Gillies knocked it back. Gillies gets it for McCracken. McCracken taken by Baysari. Now Freeman has knocked the Canterbury player down without it. He's over quickly to check his condition. He's off. Eddie Ward's not convinced about it. He's sent him from the field. While he's swinging arm high around the neck, I don't think Eddie Ward, well, look, Benny Elias argues, Freeman argues, they're down to 12. What can you do here, Bill? What's your call?
He had no choice. It was a player without the ball. He was hit high. What's Eddie Ward going to do? Ignore it?
Well, on that second look at it, he's dejected. But I must admit, play had gone on for a long time. There was no need to even lay a hand on the player. And I think that's what convinced Eddie Ward. It happened right in front of you, Wayne. How did you see it?
It's right in front of me down here, and unfortunately, I've got to agree with Eddie Ward as well. It did look very bad, but then again, Darren Brown, I'm against the theatrics that go on with players after they've been hit, and they're all okay as well.
All right, well, now they're down to 12 for the rest of this, of our first MMI big games for 91. Can they do it with 12?
There are already some chinks starting to appear in the defence before he went off.
Lamb. Bulldogs keen to spread it. Robinson down the sideline. Robinson takes on Jack. They take out the post. That's how close they got. Jack was there to save it. Robinson with no room takes the tackle. Doesn't get it down. He took the post. His forearm took the post. Close call. Roach was too quick for the restart for his skipper. Edmed takes over. Well, Benny Elias, officially the skipper of the Tigers in 91. You were there last year, Wayne. What would you be saying to the team now?
Well, I'd be relying on that send-off to try and lift the players. At the moment, well, the last 4 or 5 minutes, they've really gone to sleep. They've slipped right back, dropped back a gear. What Benny's got to do is get the players revved up and playing to the peak of their ability.
Baysari goes to halfback and John Elias to the 5'8" role. Lamb might take him on. Moore. Run around with Lamb. McGrady up in the front line, trying to urge his teammates on. Tromp. Tromp taken by Douglas. A sensation here in the first round of Winfield Cup football. Freeman to face the judiciary. And Canterbury with the advantage. 13 against 12. Castle. Peats for Kevin Moore. He looked out wide. The defence was up quick. He got a good ball for Tromp. It goes back. Picked up by Maguire quickly. McGrady. McGrady taken by Brasher. Back for Terry Lamb, who took a miraculous catch. Peats for Kevin Moore. Kicks into the end goal. It's going to bounce. O'Brien's there. He pushes it dead. That's Brasher who got out there. So there's going to be a lot more pressure coming the Tigers' way.
Good kick, this one. Well weighted, just over the top. Brasher forced to play at it. The thing is, Graham, Canterbury don't have to do a whole lot more than they were doing. Their only problem has been handling mistakes. If they can control that, the points will come. They've shown plenty of attack against a disinterested defence.
Jack with the restart. Tremendous kick, nearly 60 metres on the fly, taken by McGrady. "30 tackles in the opposition half. The Bulldogs with only 19, but now with 13 men against 12, that should improve dramatically. Moore, Tronk, Castle. Starting to string together some more passes now. Maguire. Some slow play from Canterbury. Crowd not liking the way Maguire played it. Gillies. On the last tackle, they're 32 away from the line. Moore. Lamb. Over the head of Jack. The breeze will hold it up for him. The thought was to give his outside backs a chance, but that kick needed to be about 10 metres deeper. Anderson. Well, Alan Jones has spent some time away from his team after recovering in hospital from a back complaint. That might show later on in the match as well. They haven't had their best preparation. And Alan Jones will be so concerned now with Freeman, a key member, a man calling the shots out in the back line. Gone for the rest of this game. Last tackle against Balmain. Elias. Down to McGrady. Look out. If he can head to the far side of the field, there was a chance for him over there. Ducked under the tackle of Anderson. He's been trying to play back to this wing of McCracken. Minute and a half to go before half-time. Lamb. Tromp. Last 10 minutes have all been spent in Tiger territory. Castle just trying to make that advantage line. Good support from Gillies. Likewise from Lamb. But Lamb's finished off by Parrish. One more tackle for the Bulldogs. They haven't been able to set themselves for their kicking game properly. Robinson. Offside, said Eddie Ward. In front of the kicker. Hard to judge when the kick is going away. Robinson out there just in front of the 22 as Brown kicks it. Very much a line ball situation if he was in front of the kicker.
You mentioned the Canterbury kicking game. Obviously Lamb is injured because if he was 100%, he'd be in charge of that facet.
Balmain, with only 30 seconds remaining in this first half, decide to grab 2 points if they can. Terry Lamb.
Minus the moustache.
From out near halfway, siren goes, no problem with distance, but there is with accuracy right at the death before half-time. And the Tigers down to 12 men, but they do lead here at the break, 10 points to 6. Balmain will start this second half, leading by 4 points. A good first half for them in so many respects. Now they're down to 12 men. Gary Freeman sent off. And all the advantages coming with Canterbury. Michael Neal back out there for the Tigers. The Bulldogs will also have the breeze in this second half. McGrady. Down for Jack, who takes it above his head. Very confidently of that. Taken by Lamb and also Brown. 70 tackles made by the Tigers. Low tackle counts all round. 9 and 8 by Sirinen. And Canterbury with 72. Tronk and Peats leading the way there.
That's a significant change. Mick Neal on for Balmain. When you're down to 12 men, you need a workaholic.
Way down on match fitness though, Michael Neal. Roach. A lot of responsibility on his shoulders as well. Elias out of dummy half, taken by Peats and Gillies and White. They're already on their last. They're going to get some more. Third time in this match that Canterbury have been penalised for this. Somebody's got to start to wake up. 3 of them were there, and Gillies was making sure that Elias was going to take a long time to get up. Jack, with the penalty, still doesn't get them outside their half. Sirinen. What was said at half-time, Wayne?
Well, Alan Jones wasn't a very happy man. I mean, there's no better motivational speaker in the country than him, and he produced a ripper, basically asking for a lot more commitment, especially in defence. Chris Anderson, well, he wants his side to use this breeze. He feels that it's strengthened in the second half. I think he's right, and he wants his side to keep toiling away because he feels that the big Balmain forwards will get tired as the game progresses.
Parrish gets it out for Grant. Stripped by Darren Smith, but he was called to play the ball. Another penalty. This is how easy it is to dig a grave in rugby league if you keep this up.
You pay players for their skills, but you also pay them for some clear thinking, and on occasions players just aren't doing that. They're continuing to force the referee to give penalties.
More possession for the Tigers. Anderson. 32 out from the Canterbury line. Try would give them some great heart. They've had the ball stripped from them though. McCracken. The Tigers won 9 out of 11 home games last year. It's going to have to be a big performance to win this one with 12 men in the second half. Lamb, they're going to kick quickly.
They'll have a much better kicking game with him in charge.
And a long kick from Terry Lamb that's going to bounce dead. 22 free metres for the Tigers. They'll walk back for the tap. Elias. The Parrish. Quickly to his feet, no marker. He'll pick up an easy 5. Again, he looks for the quick play. The ball held down a little by Newton. Edmed with a fumble. The sort of handling mistakes that could prove very costly now in this position on the field. Tronk, who's heavily concussed in the semi-final against Penrith, was ordered to wear a headgear, but has shed it only halfway through the first half. Lamb looked to go out wide. Now he does. Ball has rolled forward, though, and Canterbury will be called back. There was a real chance on there if he could have got it out there cleanly.
If anyone can find a hole, Terry Lamb's the man who can. The step off the left foot, the defence that came at him, he got the pass out the back, but you can see just there it kicked forward.
Michael Neal wrapped up right on the 22. 8-7 the handling errors against Balmain. Roach raiding away down a blindside back on the in pass for Michael Neal. Elias, John Elias. Edmed. One more tackle. Haven't been able to get out of their half. Elias showed it. Now they're going to run it. Neal. Back on the inside, touched by Gillies. They'll get 6 more. Anderson gets back there very quickly. Now, the ball was touched. Bad call, really. Goes against Balmain. Eddie Ward missed it. And Canterbury with a chance now. Newton nearly overran the dummy half. Geordi Peats. Nobody at home up the middle. Balmain stood back and waited. Tronk. Kyle White without it. Tronk ran behind him. There was a hit of a shepherd in that, but Tronk was stripped of the ball. Brasher. Plenty of mistakes in this match from both sides. O'Brien. Steve O'Brien with a great run. He needs support. Down to McGrady. Beat him beautifully. Great footwork. Now there's a roll on for the Tigers. And a quick play of the ball. Elias. Parrish. Brasher has Grant with him. Gillies is out there to chop it off. At 6s and 7, Canterbury. Anderson. Last tackle. The signal from Elias was the kick. He stood blindside to try and to kick back across the field. Now it's Grant. McGrady's there. Brasher. Oh, what a take. What a take from Brasher. The two centres got together. It was magic the way that Brasher climbed. Just watch. Elias was calling for it on the MMI replay. It went to the wrong man. But it didn't really, because Grant beautifully kicked high and Brasher climbed above Robinson and McGrady.
I'm sure that Grant wasn't going to kick the ball here. We can see here from the play the ball. He came in, overrode Elias. Elias wanted to put the ball onto the boot himself, but Grant was forced to make a decision here, so he put the ball onto the left foot. Brasher followed it through beautifully.
Brasher climbed high and dived over.
Well, I'm surprised it took so long to bomb McGrady. I'm sure that they would have gone into the game looking to do that. They haven't been in a position to do it. Brasher chased through, went higher than McGrady, much higher, and scores the try adjacent to the uprights.
Now, Timmy Brasher with 3 from 4 will try and add 2 points to his try. Steve Folkes, who pulled out during the week with a pinched nerve, passing out the mail from their coach, Chris Anderson.
My information is that he couldn't have played anyhow, that he didn't have a clearance from Hull as late as Friday, Graham, so that's an interesting one.
Could be a good story to follow. Brasher. With only 12 men, the Tigers have made it nice and difficult now in 16-6. Maguire still travelling. 43 tackles in the opposition half. Geordi Peats gets 6 metres away.
That's much better play going forward.
Trump. Out wide, Lamb. It was nearly intercepted. Kyle White's got the try. It so easily could have been intercepted that Lamb held onto the ball, kept his cool, and got them started. This ball from Chonk for Terry Lamb on the MMI replay. Michael Neal nearly got a hand to it. Good short ball to Kyle White. That was all set up by the earlier tackles, though.
Yeah, this try was a result of good pressure. 3 play the balls going forward, and then they shifted it. Now watch Lamb here hold up the pass for Kyle White. Kyle White blasted into that hole and was able to crash his way over.
Well, put this down to Mick Neal taking the odds to an intercept and missing, leaving the Canterbury defence with an overlap. Tim Brasher here trying to take 2 men on, couldn't do it, and Kyle White goes over for the try.
Kyle White in the back row for the Bulldogs. The MMI player profile, just 20 years of age. Known for his hitting defence. He gets a try, though, and an important one here. And the Tigers tackled so well, but it finally came. Just too much possession.
He starts this one out at the left upright. It should go right over the black dot.
It's easy, isn't it?
Easy from here.
Intense concentration from Lamb. Never ever gave it a chance at that left-hand upright. But we're getting back and close again in the MMI big game. 16-10 the Tigers. Baysari. Robinson traps it. Picks it up. Broke 2 tackles. Darren Brown. Good hit there from Sirenan, who's just got on there.
Balmain playing 1 marker at stages to try and build up their defensive line short a man.
Look out!
Yeah, Canterbury will start to work from dummy half and around the play the balls.
McGrady nearly got away, and it was big Steve Roach who stuck out a hand and grabbed his jumper. Now Tronk, who's been looking for a lot of work. Gillies, the pass was behind him. Not a good one. Last tackle. Elias was quickly away from dummy half, so Peats had no option but to kick straight down the middle. And they'll try and trap Jack down inside his own 10 metres. They do it right in front of his post, and he's got some tired teammates taking a long while to get back. O'Brien, and still there's players coming back. Anderson, 11 metres from their own line. They're looking for a big play here from a forward. Roach, can he produce it? Still inside their 22. Edmed with a good surge.
Balmain are a very big side in the forwards. Interchange should suit them, but that's counteracted by the fact they've only got 12 men.
Jack with a kick. Not much of an angle for him. Canterbury with plenty of players back there. Darren Brown through the dummy and got through. Got right through. Falling off some tackles. I mentioned they were tied in that last play. This might be extra important here. Lamb just hang on. He hung onto the ball when he looked like he was going to drop it. McGrady up the middle. McGrady. Newton gets it out. McGrady dummies his way through. Runs around Gary Jack. Too much pace. McGrady gets there. Well, you can't stop and have a look at this guy. The scoreboard and that scoreline's going to change on the MMI replay. Up the middle. Just watch here. He unloads for Newton. This is where he should have been finished off. The dummy was taken by Brasher, and Gary Jack was just caught a little bit flat and didn't have enough pace to match it. The short run to the line, McGrady won it.
This all started around the play the ball area. That's where Balmain were weak. They only had the 1 marker, as we mentioned. McGrady then had the space to work in. Once he'd made the initial break, it was plain sailing. He skipped through the line, and too much pace for Gary Jack. That's no mean feat.
It started around the play the ball, as Billy pointed out, but Balmain was short on this left-hand side of the field. As a result of that, Tim Brasher was caught in 2 minds at this point here, and McGrady, with too much pace, just goes around Gary Jack. Although Gary Jack was in the right position, he just didn't have enough pace.
Ewan McGrady, a certain player who really will bring the crowds back to rugby league in a big way out Belmore Way.
He's got electrifying pace. I read a comment by Peter Moore during the week, Graham, that he's the fastest player he's ever seen over 30 metres.
Lamb from right out on the sideline, He's having a shocker here at Leichhardt. No good the goal kicking from Terry Lamb today. And Balmain still cling to a lead, 16-14. Scrum screwing. Ward to settle them down. Big push from Canterbury. They get it. Gillies picked it up from lock forward. More possession. McGrady out for Lamb. Brown straightens up. The defence just opened. Easy try. Well, that just opened right up. All of a sudden, they looked inspired after the Brasher try, but now they're shot to pieces at the moment. They will need to regroup badly. It just came out quickly. McGrady gets it out on the MMI replay. A short, simple pass, and the defence didn't keep its line. Brasher and Neal caught, and Smith just backed up Brown.
Have a look at this on your replay. Tim Brasher was the man that didn't make the tackle he had to. It was simply quick hands from Terry Lamb. There it is onto Brown. Now there's Brasher. He had to come in and make that tackle. When he didn't, Brown had made the break. Gary Jack had to make the tackle. 4 points.
Yes, the Balmain defence here was sliding across the field. Because they were sliding across the field, they gave plenty of room for Brown to make this initial break. This pass was marginal, but the try's on the board.
Darren Smith, second row or centre. Well, he's smiling now because he gets a try out in the backs. And we've had 3 tries in only 7 minutes. He gets one. And the Bulldogs now grab the lead. They get it to 20-16. Well, are they down and out? Or are they about to find their ground? Robinson. He's taken 10 metres out. 15 and a half minutes remaining. A long time in a game of rugby league. McCracken breaking tackles. They're dropping off. They've dropped off a lot of tackles in the last 10. Geordi Peats right up the middle. How big a hole was that? He's got McGrady. Forward pass. Now, the difficult thing here for Peats was he knew that McGrady could score, but McGrady had overrun him. He had to hang back.
The problem is McGrady's just too fast for him. Look at him, he's doing it in a canter, but he's way in front. What he had to do was time his run, but Graham, those cracks starting to occur around the play of the ball.
Down to 12 men, and it's too difficult for them, it looks like at the moment. O'Brien. I thought it might have been enough when Brasher scored. I thought it might have given them that extra lift just when they needed it. They need a couple of little things to go their way. Something to break this flow on that Canterbury's getting. Roach. The big men. They must really be tired. Baysari.
Baysari's a player who can do things on his own. Even though it's his first game in the top grade, he's got to try them.
Roach. That was a line ball as well. Now good quick hands from the Tigers. Last tackle. Kick was touched, but McGrady, he's got a kick and chase. We'll soon find out who's the quickest here. McGrady's beating Brasher. Jack gets back there too, though. Now, I didn't think he pushed it strong enough. That had been dangerous if McGrady had kept the chase going. He knocked off.
I don't know that I've ever seen a player knock the ball dead from inside the field of play. Gary Jack took a huge punt there, and if McGrady hadn't gone to sleep, he might have got the 4 points.
He was beating Brasher, and then Jack got across there just in time.
He thought he was no chance of getting it when Jack got there. Didn't realise Jack was going to knock it.
Now Jack with the restart. The Tigers are only 4 points away. Can they do it with 12 men? Robinson. 11 missed tackles to the Tigers, 8 against Canterbury. At one stage it was 7-3 the other way round. Castle. So much more confidence in Canterbury now. 11 metres from the Tigers line. Newton. Lamb. Out wide. Brasher has turned around. Gets a hand to it. He had to touch it twice. The bounce nearly set up and favoured Canterbury. He did well in the end to get it dead.
Balmain are tired enough. They've already had to put one ball from the line drive out. Now they're going to have to do it again. Constant pressure here from the Bulldogs.
Brash is showing the effects of it. Can they do it again? The important thing for the Bulldogs is that they must hang on for the full set of 6.
Canterbury are bombarding them.
Robinson. Lamb will be the key man here to make sure that Canterbury just don't try things too quickly or try and do too much. The man with the experience. Newton. Newton with a good strong surge. Lamb's the first receiver. Cuts a man out, brings in Castle. Castle tries to get it back, not a good pass for Lamb. He gets it, out for Brown. Finally out to McCracken. McCracken back to Lamb. Lamb will get a double in his first appearance. And just like in the first half, seemingly everything was covered, but from some scrappy passing, the Bulldogs fans celebrate a try. Well, a couple of times on the MMI replay, it looked like it was just going to break down. Right here was one occasion. Castle threw it over the head of Lamb. The defence couldn't cut it off quickly. He only pushed it along the ground for Brown. Then all of a sudden, the 12-man line from the Tigers couldn't get back into position. And McCracken, well, Lamb was on the deck. How good is he at sniffing out a try? He got back on his feet to dive over.
Canterbury carting him up now because Balmain are just so tired. They're not able to finish off tackles. Look at that. 2 players had hold of him but just couldn't put the ball to rest. Terry Lamb came back, picked up a scrappy pass, then gave a scrappy pass himself. But keep your eye on Lamb here and nothing else. He knew exactly where to run. He headed towards the corner post, got the pass back on the loop around. The master of backing up. There he is, the number 6 for Canterbury.
2 from 6 for Terry Lamb. And right out on touch. Strikes this one better. Strikes it perfectly. Finally brings a smile to Terry Lamb and the Bulldogs. 26-16. Roach infield, Freeman. Metre away, good defence from Peats and also Darren Smith. Throwing everything into it, the Tigers. Parrish, the gap opened. He stands up right in front of the post. Quick play of the ball, penalty. Elias had flicked it out for Edmed, who finished up over the line.
Sin bin, 5 minutes.
Well, it's down to 12 and 12. Roach, quick tap.
If Balmain are going to get back into it, they need a captain's knock from Elias.
He takes over at first receiver. John Elias. The defence up quickly. Back for Parrish. 12 metres out from the Canterbury line. This will give them a bit more room to move. I know it sounds silly, but too close to the line, the defence is up much more quickly. John Elias. Ben Elias out for Edmed. Sirenen left it alone, and Jack put it down. That was the point in the match where they had to make it pay. Brown will play it, no marker. He picks up an easy 10 metres. Peats. McCracken. I know Steve Folkes pulled out of this match, but Geordi Peats has been strong at hooker, Bill.
He's played before at hooker in first grade for Canterbury and always done the job. And here he goes again.
Doing more than the job here as he sends Lamb away. Lamb's still going. Canterbury are trying to finish it. Last tackle. McGrady. McGrady takes off. McGrady takes right off, gets it out. But it's a forward pass. And Eddie Ward has called a halt. Patmore was the man that had backed up. Peter
Moore might be right. He could be the fastest player over 30 metres that he's ever seen.
It's a hard one for him to do first up when you're down with somebody sent off.
Certainly is, and you know, the players were showing all of the commitment as if they were going to win this game, but I still believe that when Freeman was sent off, they needed to address some problems quickly that were starting to rear their head anyhow.
Sirinen. March has never been the weather for the big men. Baysari, Parrish, Grant, brings in Jack. O'Brien, back for Grant. Really hasn't had an opportunity right throughout the game, Grant. Not a clean one at all. John Elias. Ben Elias. Roach. Roach with a gap. He was ankle tapped by little McGrady. Threw it off the ground, right into the arms of Patmore. Gillies. You've got to hand it also to Chris Anderson, who has had McGrady stay in the front line and Brown dropping back to fullback with Tigers down to 12.
They've covered him nicely. They've brought McGrady up and let him do what he does best, Graeme. They've let him work the football. They've let him ad-lib. He's just played off the cuff and found holes everywhere.
Robinson. Lamb. Kicking away from Jack, who had gone to the grandstand sideline. Will have to get across there quickly. Unbelievable knock off the feet, said Jack. Eddie Ward was positive that it wasn't. And he was right.
Gary tells fibs.
Welcome to the MMI replay, Gary.
Never lies.
Five metres out. And Ben Elias can only think of what might have been for the Tigers at 16-6. Caution on the run here, just slowing play down for a moment. It'll certainly help all and sundry out there on this hot afternoon. Yes, sir. 11-7, the penalties had favoured the Tigers. At one stage, they had 6 in a row. Lamb feeds the scrum. Tried to sneak it on the blind side, 9 metres away. Trump lost it. It was knocked back. Peats from dummy half, head down, 1 metre out. Gillies trying to get Sirinen off him. Lamb. It happens to the best. A regulation pass and a simple knock on. Just put it down.
Chris Anderson will forgive him.
He's been instrumental in this Canterbury performance. After battling with a groin strain right throughout the trial period, they didn't use him at all, Canterbury. And they kept him on ice until the Winfield Cup. Anderson. The Tigers headed for a loss in round 1 and at home, more importantly. Penalty goes their way, with Canterbury being inside the 5. Tap restart. Roach. Parrish. Brasher. Grant. McCracken came off his wing to stop all the action. Elias. Now Grant's in real trouble with the shoulder. Roach puts it down. Kick through by Elias, the advantage for the Bulldogs. McGrady. Taken by Parrish. They're trying to get Grant off the field. So real headaches for Alan Jones in this match in the opener to the Winfield Cup. Grant's trying to stay on the sideline, trying to stay out there. They pushed him out to the wing.
Maybe they've used their 4 replacements.
It's been hard to keep track, Bill. It really has lost me, this interchange system.
I've heard you mention that on occasions.
It doesn't win me at all. I thought this was supposed to be a game for 13 against 13. Unless the referee steps in and says you're off, and that happened to Gary Freeman today.
I'd just like to give it a bit more time.
What's going to change? What's going to change about it?
Well, maybe the vast number of replacements we're getting in the interchange will settle down as coaches realise that you don't have to make them. You're not compelled to.
Douglas. There's a change now. James Grant headed from the point with the club doctor. Roach. Time is well and truly up right now. And the Tigers down to 12 men after the send-off from Gary Freeman in the first half. They led 16-6 at one stage. Bruce Maguire gets a win over his old club. And the Bulldogs get home 26-16. 2 tries to Terry Lamb in his first appearance. White, McGrady, Smith, the other try scorers. 3 goals for Lamb. David Anderson and Jimmy Brasher, the try scorers for Balmain. 4 goals to Brasher. 26-16.
We couldn't go past the Canterbury hooker, young Geordi Peats, for a terrific performance in this Canterbury side who have picked up or taken first blood for 1991. Geordi, a late opportunity for you with Steve Folkes pulling out.
Yeah, mate. Willie pulled out on Wednesday, and I've been ready for it for a while. I've been waiting for Joey to leave now, and now Steve's come back, but what can I say? I just got to keep trying.
Down to 12 men at half-time, Balmain. What was said by Chris?
We knew they were short. The big fellas were getting tired. Just knew that our backs would win us the game if we held them in the forward, so that's what we done.
Well, you found plenty of holes up the middle yourself, and you picked up $1,000 from our new sponsor in 91 from MMI.
Thanks, MMI, and thanks, Channel 10. Thank you.
Well played. Geordi Peats also picked up 8 points in our Channel 10 Dally M Awards for 1991. And along with Geordi Peats, it was Terry Lamb in the comeback who picked up 7, and Ewan McGrady, who also picked up 7 points. And you can check all the results for your favourite players as far as the Dally M points are concerned in tomorrow's big league lift-out in the Telegraph Mirror.
Terry Lamb was coming back from a pelvic injury, but it didn't seem to worry him much today.
No, I wasn't really worried about the pelvis, Bill. I was worried about my young Matt. Sonny's in hospital with asthma, and I just thought to say g'day to Matt at Liverpool Hospital.
Gary Freeman was sent off for Balmain, but did you have the feeling that you were coming at them anyhow?
Yeah, we were playing pretty strong up there. They were going forward. They were making a few mistakes, and you could say little forwards were getting in between them and make them go backwards.
Well, on a tough initiation of rugby league, having to play 47 minutes of the match with only 12 men.
Yes, I don't think that's an excuse, though. I mean, it would have been nice on a day like today to have had the lot out there. But the problem was, for us, from the time we scored that try in the second half, and I think we led 16-6, they then had 18 sets of 6, and we could only get 8. I mean, that's an awful lot of ball to have to continue to defend. And that eventually found us out, and we were found wanting.
We certainly were found out, and I suppose there's got to be some bright lights come out of that defeat there.
Well, let me just tell you, we're not about to lie down and we're not about to surrender. I believe that this team will compete and we'll be there. Now, the important test now is a test of nerve, just because you've lost, and the dogs will bark, but the caravan has to keep moving on. And we will, and we'll turn it around next week. That's the only way you can approach competitive sport. You have to live with the result, forget about it, and get on with the next event, and we will.
They live to fight another day, says Alan Jones, and Alan Jones says he's also trying to get his team to forget about round 1 of the Winfield Cup. Well, they won't be the only ones, because there have been some big upsets and some pretty big scores. On Friday night, it was Brisbane 12-2 over Manly, Newcastle with a great win over Cronulla, West good winners over Gold Coast. The Gold Coast were at home there, and North Sydney the big upset in round 1, 11-6 over the defending champs, the Canberra Raiders. Penrith a terrific win, 32-10 over Illawarra. South get first points on the board over East, 16-10. St George, tremendous scoreline there against Parramatta, 34-8. And Canterbury, 26-16 here at Leichhardt in our MMI big game. 8 contenders for the minor premiership after just 1 round. St George, Penrith, Newcastle, Canterbury, Brisbane, West, South and North the winners. And Canberra leading the way there and just showing that we've still got 8 teams to prove themselves worthy of not the wooden spoon. Early days though. St George and Brisbane next week, South and Illawarra, Cronulla taking on Balmain, Canterbury up against East, Manly, the Gold Coast, and West taking on North Sydney. And that takes us to all our action next week. Nissan Friday night football from the Penrith Football Stadium. The Panthers at home taking on Newcastle. What a tremendous clash that's going to be. All the action from 8:30 Eastern Time. And on Sunday, our MMI big game, the chance for the Raiders to fight back. They will take on Parramatta. I spoke to Peter Sterling today, and he was claiming that he'll be fit and ready to take them on next Sunday.
And of course, tonight we'll wrap up round 1 of the Winfield Cup for you with Wayne Pearce on Dick Smith Electronics Late Night League, 10:45 p.m. Eastern Time. All other states, if you could just check your local guides. But a tremendous start here to round 1 of the Winfield Cup of 1991. Plenty of upsets. Today, Balmain looked to have it in control, but then Gary Freeman was sent off. Alan Jones said no excuses. And in 91, in round 1 of the Winfield Cup, it was the Canterbury Bulldogs who drew first blood. Good night, everybody.
This should be a try. Lands inside. Canterbury, well, out of seemingly nothing, the Bulldogs will go a long way. Now it's Grant. McGrady's there. Thrasher. Oh, what a take. And McGrady dummies his way through. Runs around Gary Jack. Too much pace. McGrady gets there. Track it back to Lamb. Lamb will get a double in his first appearance. Out wide, Lamb. It was Billy intercepted. Kyle White's got the try. McGrady out for Lamb. Brown straightens up. The defence just opened. Easy try. Well, that just opened right up.